What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, April 19th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all. Did miss out on yesterday's horoscope, but that's because I wanted to record this one yesterday instead so I can get them out earlier. I was doing lives and they were a little later in the day, so this should get me back on schedule and hopefully keep the live, or not the live, but the daily train going. So appreciate you all. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. Let's take a look at the astrology today. Not kind of intense Friday vibes, not gonna lie. I mean, it is Taurus season, so happy Taurus season out there to everybody. It's very big Taurus energy because we have Jupiter and Uranus getting ready to conjunct tomorrow. They're super tight orb right now, both at 21 degrees. I mean, it's earth shaking energy, right? So we got this big amplifier of Jupiter kind of coming in, bumping up on this unpredictability and instability, but also that breaks us through to a future that really can bring new into our lives, can kind of show us what the future holds. So I think there's a lot of groundbreaking sort of futuristic ideals, conceptions, manifestations that can come into our reality. It's like, how do these come in? Your guess is as good as mine. I hope they come in the best possible way for all of us. Got to be honest with you, but it's like I couldn't tell you. Could be the best thing. I mean, we have the great benefic here, Jupiter, with Uranus. Could be the best thing you ever thought was going to come, but you never thought it would. You kind of just gave up on it, and all of a sudden it just boom, you created it. Almost instant manifestation for some, maybe, and then for others it's like complete and total breakdown, and then it could be world stuff collectively, like complete and total breakdown to get this bounty and this beauty out of our physical earth here, our physical reality of this fixed earth sign of Taurus. So your guess is as good as mine. I wish I could tell you exactly what's going to come. I can't, so I'm not going to try to fluff you up with that stuff, but big change, big energy, big excitement, big electricity, big, movement, like weird movements, could happen. You might be making different decisions based on different ideals, based on your own unique values, like all of a sudden you're like, I'm really going to follow this value because it's really mine. And I'm not going to follow maybe the value of something else that isn't mine. Things, however it may manifest for you, but you get the point. The moon in Virgo is definitely trying to keep things in order and tidy and clean here, but with the way things are, it's like it's not going to be easy. Plus, it's opposing the mysterious chaos of Pisces with Saturn and Mars, the two malefics. So the moon's not really in a happy spot here, I'll be honest with you. It will finish off the night making trines over to Jupiter and Uranus, but it's just almost like, how comfortable can you be with change? Can you find the surrender? Can you find the maturity within yourself to not lose it over things changing or over something unpredictable happening? Like, it's finding maturity in a certain type of surrender, right? We're not in Aries season anymore. It is still North Node Aries. It's not like there's no push in life right now. There's definitely still some push, and I think we want to get the most out of reality and out of life always. And I think we can still feel like that's a value we want to uphold and we want to express and communicate, especially with Venus and Mercury coming together in Aries. So there's a lot of our own personal wants and needs we're ready to kind of see grow here in this spring. But that's just the unpredictability of it. Maybe the timing's off. Maybe we're not on that timeline right now. Uranus is this great timeline indicator and timeline planet, and maybe we're here, maybe we're not. Jupiter's going to definitely amplify whatever timeline we're meant to be on at this moment for our own individual evolutions, for our own individual consciousness. And then everything's going to come back to the collective consciousness, and we're going to, figure out what we all have to do together at some point. But today can feel a little weird, definitely uneasy, highly emotional, but kind of wanting to keep things in, or a heavy judgmental energy towards oneself, especially if our values have gotten somehow distorted right now, um, in different areas of life. I feel like we can almost put guilt or shame on ourselves, and we want to be very careful of that. We don't want to go down that road. I mean, that'll just make us more angry with ourselves or angry with God, especially dealing with like this opposition to Mars, which Mars is sextiling this energy too, and Mars is such an initiator, an igniter, if you will. So just even having Mars sextile that big conjunction that is Uranus and Jupiter that's going on right now, it's very potent. Like you could definitely see into this weekend, like things, really kicking off. And maybe it's just in our own personal lives, and maybe it's in the world. Like I've talked about this week, the synchronicities of the chart of, what was it, May or March 8th, 1941, with the last Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and, getting ready to, it was later that year, right, that we dropped the atom bomb. Or maybe it was 42, but I don't know. Pluto was at 2 degrees Leo. And, my dates might be wrong there, but it's somewhere around that time. And, Pluto was just kind of getting warmed up here in Leo. And we are at the opposition with 2 degrees of that. I don't know. It's just crazy stuff. Like, at least just worth being conscious of, but maybe putting in the back of the conscious because it doesn't vibe with your values. It's Taurus season. You got to put your values first. Got to kind of. Also, I think we got to put our money where our mouth is when it comes to the life we're trying to live. So we got to do the things to get the things we want. Change too, and not be, afraid of change, but kind of get more fixated on what can be with the proper action, the proper mental mindset, the mental capacity, with the emotional capacity, the feelings. How can we really put things in order? That's how, getting our own internal stuff dialed in and not letting exterior stuff, take us so far from our own values and our own feel good energy that we're just feeling like we can't get anywhere. Today's a little sticky, I'm not going to lie. Sticky, but at the same time, it could be absolutely beautiful. It's just about how your life is sort of lined up right now. Like, what's the order going? Do you like, waking up? Do you like what you do at 9 in the morning? Do you like what you do at 12 in the afternoon? Like, think about some of these scheduled things, and think about like if maybe a little tweak or a change. It doesn't have to be so time based, but just you get the idea. Like, what can happen, And if it's just not going great, you also really want to be gentle with yourself, because I feel like today could be so hard on ourselves, and it's like, come on, not being that hard on oneself doesn't get us anywhere. It's okay to push ourselves. It's okay to have drive. And I think that's something that we want to use. But again, if we're just like, grounding ourselves or really beating ourselves up, like, it'll feel painful today, on a very emotional level, and could feel like, you're really on the wrong side of change, when I think that we can also feel like we're on the right side of change. We're also seeing the sun in Taurus for the first time. That's a big square, with the sun square Pluto. So intensity is just ramped up. I mean, emotions ramped up. And it's ramped up in weird ways that maybe we've never experienced before at the same time. Like, maybe it's not the typical emotion, the typical sort of thing that we've been attached to. Maybe things are, already seeing that tide change a little bit, and the air, it feels a little different over here. But it's good. It's getting us like internally prepped to find, that passion and that drive wherever we need it. But yeah, it's definitely I don't. Pluto and Aquarius is weird. Like, let's just, like, this next 20 years are going to be weird. Pluto's very emotional, and Aquarius doesn't know what emotion is on an archetypal standpoint. So having to detach from things that we're also so consumed by is a possibility too, and maybe that's something that we're getting sort of this look at with those guys, and then all the activation from there. But Yeah. Mercury's also heading towards the North Node, so what do we got for Mercury? Yeah, we got about 6 days left till Mercury goes direct, so starting to station here. I haven't looked ahead enough, to be honest with you, to see if it conjuncts. It may not. They may just miss. But they are kind of sitting there thinking about, I think, putting ourselves as priority, putting ourselves number one. I think getting important self diagnosis done to really clean up certain things that don't provide value to life, and really trying to search and find what does provide value. Value is super important. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's humbling. Astrology, to say the least. All right, let's see what tarot card we get today. The Emperor upright. Dang. It could be like that too. Like, I mean, I just really think we can take control of a lot of our life right now. I feel like when it comes to manifestation, things you want, notifications popping up out of nowhere, I do just really think we can have the reins. You know, we can call the shots. We could be the shot callers, but we have to be very mentally strong right now to be a shot caller for our life, and we can't let the outside things twist our emotions and bind us into lacking our own self-worth. Like, you think the Emperor lacks self-worth? I don't think this guy cares how fat he gets. I don't think he cares how dopey he looks. He's got his lion. He's just sitting there like chilling. It does not care. Guarantee he doesn't care what the people in his kingdom think of him either. He doesn't. This guy's just the ruler. We need to use that energy in our life. Definitely. I think, I'm just kind of feeling this because I was looking at that lion. Thicker skin, I think, is needed in these times. We really want to, like, thicken our skin, not let things get us so emotionally twisted that don't have a direct correlation to how we're living our lives. And I know that's going to be difficult too. So, all right. Well, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great Friday. Just because the astrology's kind of humbling, like I said, but kind of wild, does not mean that you can't have a good day. You can definitely have one of those, and I hope you all do. And I'll see you for the weekend horoscope tomorrow. Much love. Peace.